Hey everybody.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
What's up?
We're the Hardmans. Thank you for joining in tonight. Welcome to Ourbondlive. We are here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And we talk about hot trending topics.
Yep.
And how it relates to life.
Yes.
The full circle of life. Marriage.
Parenting.
Family, parenting,
dating, all of that.
All of that. And so we try to drop those wisdom nuggets.
Yeah. Based on our experience.
Being
married 15 years.
15 years, 4 kids.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. So every week we wear different shirts.
Yeah.
And so this is our family shirt.
I'm the dad. It's my house.
Yeah, and I'm the mom. I make all the rules.
And this is based on a photo shoot we had a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And the picture looks a little bit like this.
Those are our girls. So we all had shirts. And so honestly, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
We were tired.
Yeah, we were
creating a shirt for this week because we had a long weekend.
Yes, we did.
Look at that. Shout out to my
alma
my
mater.
HBCU, alma mater, Alabama A&M University. We were at my homecoming.
Yes, we were.
Yes, and so we are still
tired. You can see the bags kind of a little bit under my eyes.
Yes. And that's why I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Tonight's topic, I messed up. I misspelled both the dad and the son's name. I'm blaming it on homecoming.
Oh yeah, blame it on that. Blame it.
I was just tired. We will be discussing Lavar and Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
And I said Lamar and Lorenzo. And so I just got a lot of heat from hubby on that. But
I was
it is what it is. It is what it is. He should have proofread what I put.
Well, you know what? One of the things that I realize is that, when there's other people and it's not related to sports, she gets everything right. It just so happened that this is dealing with sports that she misspelled the father and the son's name. So I think she really don't deal with sports like that. So that's where the oversight is. She's really just not that interested. Okay.
Tomato, same thing.
No, I'm a stickler because, my name is a little bit different. And when people pronounce my name wrong, it kind of gets to me. So I'm a stickler for trying to make sure that I pronounce people's names right.
Okay, so right. I admitted I made the error. Thank you for tuning in. Share this video. And we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope.
Yeah.
So you ready to jump right in?
Ready to jump right in.
Let me tell you, I'm going to try to set it up, but I know he's going to jump in and
I
he's
will
going to correct me.
Every mistake that she makes tonight.
Yeah, this sports thing, him and sports, it's like... Oh, God. All right.
She's the setup lady, and she's going to set up what we're about to talk about tonight. So go ahead, have at it, babe. Do your thing.
So there has been a hot topic called damaged goods. So tonight's topic is, are you damaged goods?
Yeah.
And even though it was a father and a son, they were at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
There is this show called Ball in the Family.
Yeah.
On Facebook Watch.
Yeah.
And so they have this own series. Lavar Ball has 3 sons. And they all play basketball.
Yes.
Now there's some backstory to their different levels of basketball.
Yeah.
But there was this topic. They had this conversation. They have a baller brand called BBB.
Yeah.
The father created it based on his 3 boys that play basketball. It's called
Big Baller
Brand.
Yeah.
See? I told you he gonna be adding little stuff in it.
Yeah.
So it's called. So there's been some issues with it over recent years. The main guy that was running it, he had this scandal behind him.
Yeah.
And then I think there was some issues with the shoes too. Initially, the first shoes, they were the first round of shoes before they repackaged them.
Some of the shoes were not top quality.
Yeah, they weren't top quality or whatever. And then the boys. Having their issue. I know the middle son with the UCLA
Shoplifting
thing.
in
Yeah,
China.
the China thing.
Yeah.
He shoplifted. Or did he? I don't even know if he did or not.
Yeah, well, he was kicked off.
He was kicked off the UCLA, and then they've done Ball and other places. And
yeah.
It's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not even going to go into it. But the topic tonight about the damaged goods.
Yeah.
They're having conversation, and Lonzo, who's the oldest son, suggested to the father that they change the name because it's kind of like tainted. It's kind of getting a bad rep.
He's wanting to rebrand it.
He wants to rebrand it. So the son is coming from a marketing perspective, and the father is coming from a father's perspective.
Yeah.
And so let's listen to the video. The video's only 36 seconds, so it's really quick.
So it's real quick, so you can watch it, and then we want to share our point of views and want to hear your point of views as well.
Yep.
So here we go. We're gonna roll it right now.
Would you change the name?
Hell no, I wouldn't change the name.
I'm just saying from a marketing standpoint.
From a marketing standpoint, regardless of what it is.
I'm just saying, that's my opinion. I'm just asking a question.
I'm just saying. Triple B is always going to be the name. On the fact that it also stands for the three Ball brothers. I'm not changing that at all.
What's your opinion on that, Joe?
I don't give a about his opinion.
I just want to hear.
But no, listen to me, son. When I come up with a name and then somebody tell me to change it, that's like me telling me to change your name. That's like people saying, oh, hey, change Lonzo's name to Alfonso on the fact that he's been damaged goods for the last 2 years.
All right.
Okay, so there is and
language, so we understand language, so
we don't be cursing
it's
or
beeped
nothing,
out or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we come from a Christian perspective, so
yeah.
we don't condone the language that was used on this video, but we wanted to make a point.
So, okay, there's been a lot of sides. Most of the comments have been people have been getting on the father for calling his son damaged goods.
Yeah.
Let's think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have cameras in their household.
Yeah.
But what if in America there were a lot of cameras in our households? He said damaged goods.
Yeah.
Reflect back on, growing up or, your own personal house. Would there be even, I guess, worse language
that was used.
And so what if the camera captured that?
Yeah.
So a lot of people were getting on him, is calling your son damaged goods. That could affect his self-esteem, his self-worth. And yes, he's had a rough past 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, wasn't he the number one?
So he was the number 2 pick in the 2017 draft.
Okay.
By the Los Angeles Lakers. He currently was traded from the Lakers to the New Orleans Pelicans
in June this year, right?
Yeah, in June of this year. She's just piggybacking off of what I've already said. So she try to act like she knows something, but anyway. So I digress. Let's keep going.
He has not been at the height of his career.
Yeah. I mean, he's had some rough patches in his 2-year NBA career.
So some are saying, okay, so why kick him when he's down? Why even put that out there, especially in front of cameras? You're calling your own son, your flesh and blood.
Just because he kind of challenged the status quo of his father's opinion to actually change the name of the brand.
So he had an opinion.
Yeah.
And then his father basically got offended by that opinion.
Yeah.
And basically said a comment to basically have him fall back.
Yeah.
And so others have said because we're just giving you all of our opinions first before we tell you ours. Others have said that's just tough love.
Yeah.
That's that's just a father and a son. Fathers are harder, on their children, typically.
On their sons,
especially on their sons, particularly, especially athletes. I mean, you look at Serena's dad.
Yeah.
You look at Tiger Woods' father. You look at all these different fathers that have been tough on their children. The Jacksons.
Jackson 5, even though
yeah, yeah, they were athletes. Some say Beyonce's father, so it's like you have to be. So some have said, you just need to have tough skin.
Yeah.
So you want to get into the first question?
Okay. So we're gonna go into the first question, and then we'll kind of pose these questions to you guys, so that you guys can give us feedback, and we can create some dialogue and conversation along the way. So here we go.
Yeah. And we see your comments. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
so we see your comments.
Okay.
So when we pose these questions, you can start, putting your comments on the chat, and we'll respond, and then also we'll share our point of view as well.
So but before we do the first question, we both feel that it's not really about basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
This goes deeper than basketball.
All right.
Okay. So here's the first question. When is tough love ineffective? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
When is tough love ineffective?
So at what point do you all feel, you can comment and we'll read your comments. At what point do you feel that tough love is ineffective?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so we'll probably have to start talking and answering the question before people chime in.
All right. So when is tough love ineffective? So, and I think sometimes when it doesn't, and I'm coming from a point of view of sometimes you may have some harsh criticism about some of the errors in your ways, but when tough love is ineffective, when it really doesn't make a point, or it's not based on a principle, or is more so in retaliation of a person's feelings being hurt. So therefore they're hurting, so they want to hurt the other person more so than anything. And I think from the standpoint of even looking at this, to me, it seems more like the son-father dynamic of where the son is beginning to outgrow the area where the father may want his son to be, or is kind of expanding or expressing, or expressing himself in a different way, or spreading his wings. And sometimes, as young men, and I'm gonna be honest, as a young man, once we get to a certain age, we feel like, okay, it's time for us to leave the nest. It's time for us to make our own decisions. It's time for us to be our own man. And in those moments, there may be some level of contention between the young man and their father. And I think it happens probably in all dynamics of relationships. You still respect your father from some standpoint, but at some particular point in time, you say to yourself, okay, it's time for me to, get out on my own, time to do my thing. And I kind of want to, I want my own identity. I don't want my identity to always be tied to maybe, a father or, or parents in general. So I think that was a part of it.
So how can then, because you said something, you said it's a conflict between the father and the young man, but eventually the young man grows to a mature man.
Yeah, the father and the son, yeah.
So it's really, it can be a conflict between the father and then the mature man.
Yeah.
So then at that point, how does a son then convey their convictions, or convey their thoughts, or convey their path to the father that has been the head of their household? Or
and really, when you look at the clip, I think the son was really doing it in a respectful way. He was just trying to get others' opinions before he gave his or gave his opinion, and he wanted to hear the point of view of others. But I think the father at that particular point was so dogmatic about his opinion that it didn't matter what his son's opinion was or not, or anybody else that was sitting at that table. It was more so a direct correlation between a son coming into his own and a father still wanted to have a level of control over what goes forth.
Someone said, Tough love is ineffective when the person is coming from a different perspective,
Yeah.
generational differences.
Yeah.
Climate
That's awesome.
different. That was Doris. And Marlena said, we need to allow room for growth as well. That means allowing your child to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
I think that's a good comment.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
in my research
Her research
of this family, I found that the father, Lavar, he did make it to the league, but didn't really actually play NFL.
Yeah,
it was the NFL league.
Yeah.
But didn't. I said, you were saying no before I even
Yeah, I
finished
thought
my
you was
sentence.
about to say NBA. No,
He made it to the NFL league, but
As a
didn't
practice
actually
player.
exactly.
Yeah.
But so he didn't reach to that level of the league, national
Yeah.
league, like his son. And
Yeah.
then two, when he was at what school was he at? Because he played basketball in college. Look, I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of the school, but they used to say that he was garbage. Garbage.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
You never know how that affected him.
Yeah.
Could it
Yeah.
be that
Yeah.
he's heard that he was garbage in basketball? So he's done everything in his power.
And then he's made outlandish statements like if he played Michael Jordan
he
in a
could
one-on-one
beat him.
game, he could beat him.
If he played
You know,
Kobe,
and
hurt,
he's had
he
all
could
of
beat
these.
him.
He's had all of these outlandish
Yeah.
statements that has actually garnered him attention to his sons.
To-
And I think he was
strategic. He's
very
strategic
strategic
in
in
it.
making these
He's a-
statements. But at the same time, I think also too he's living vicariously through his
his
sons, in the sense of his sons being able to do what he was not able to do.
But the
you
point
know.
also that I was making was if he was used to growing up in his prime years, heard those negative comments,
Yeah.
and he pushed through it.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
doesn't mind dishing those negative comments out to
Yeah.
his son because
Yeah.
he thinks that can give you more.
That's more fuel or
more
motivation
fuel or
for you to prove me wrong.
to me. So you have to see
So it's kind of
sometimes
like reverse psychology. in a
reverse
sense.
psychology too,
Yeah.
but then also too how someone is raised, how they grow up.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
they because
yeah.
like we've been saying about relationships, you can only love someone the way that you know how to love. Like
Yeah.
love is taught how you were loved,
How
right?
you were loved, yeah.
So if he was taught, if that's the type of parenting, and Lavar comes from, did you know, a family of 6. He has 4 brothers and 2 sisters. So anybody
It was
knows
probably
what a big
competitive.
anybody know in a big family like that, you gotta make your own.
You gotta get in where you fit in.
Get in when you fit in.
Yeah,
So
no one's gonna give you anything. You gotta, in other words, you gotta fight for everything that you have. In a sense,
and
you know.
he could possibly be trying to, instill that in his sons. But I really do feel that there is a point.
where you gotta
break-
kind of like let them go on their own
break
because you
the
can only,
ties, yeah.
at a particular point in time. And because Lonzo, the son, has made it to a place higher than his father has ever
did.
made it,
He did.
now he might start to listen to people who actually made it. And that may have some level of expertise
You done said
that his
something.
father can't give him,
You
because
done said
at
something.
some particular points in time, we think that, okay, how are you going to tell me something that you've never experienced yourself when I got other guys around me or even other pros who are trying to give me advice and information, and they've actually made it to this pinnacle. But here's the thing, you cannot negate the fact that his father instilled some level of competitiveness, some level of growth to even get him to this point. But then there's still
It's
a
a
particular
season.
place that
Yeah.
now he has to be in to spread his wings and build his own identity.
Yeah.
And I think, that's where the discord and the contentions and the tension is coming from, because the son is beginning to want to make his own decisions. And I think the father is still trying to levy that level of control over his son's life. And I think that's
good.
where the disconnect is. And that's where actually tough love becomes ineffective. Because if the son feels like he's outgrown even the language or the experience of his father, then his father can talk as much as he want to talk, and it's going to be like Charlie Brown's teacher. Womp, 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 womp. He's not going to hear anything because he feels like, well, I've made it to this level, and I appreciate you helping me get to this pinnacle, but I need to hear from somebody who's actually made it or done or have gone farther than where I'm trying to go. And I'm trying to get there. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
You always need wise counsel. Bridget said, I miss you too, Bridget. You say what happens mostly is for the children will shut down and leave when their voice isn't heard. That was good, Marlena. That is so true. Yeah. And that's okay when the tough love becomes ineffective. Mm-hmm. Parents have to know, like, okay, I'm a nurse. Mm-hmm. Okay, what if one of my children become a neurosurgeon, doctor, or whatever like that? I can only tell them about nursing. I can tell them about work ethic. I can tell them about like balancing, like finances and things like that. I can't tell them anything about opening up their own practice or neuroscience. I can get them there, open the door for the opportunities, but I would hope they would seek wise counsels from others that are at that same level or higher. Or higher. Yeah. And it appears that the father does not want to let go, and it could be a detriment if you don't. Because then I look at the other sons, and I see his control and his effect on them. Now, he loves them. Yeah, he loves them hard. Oh, my God. Yeah, hard. He loves them hard. They're his world. Yeah. They're his world. He loves his family. You can tell he loves his wife. But he has this level of control. And maybe that was the type of love he saw. Yeah. You never growing know. Up. You never know. You never know. So let's any more people saying true.
Yeah, and I'll just say this, as a father, you want your children to exceed where you've gone. So wherever you've gone, as parents in general, wherever you've gone, you definitely want your children to outdo what you've done. You want them to become better than where you are. You want them to be able to stand on your shoulders. You want to be able to lift them to higher heights. So that's very important as a father or parents in general. But at some particular point in time, you can only take them but so far, and they have to really now take that journey and that where they're going. You can still give them guidance and encouragement. You can cheer them on, but at a particular point, you can only tell them but so much, and you don't want that to be where your voice become mute to them, and they just totally don't listen,
and then they start to resent you.
And then they really want to cut you off or cut you out of the life, and you definitely don't want
because that second son, I think I'm saying it right, anybody correct me, because I know there's sports fans out there. I think the second son, what's his name?
Leangelo.
Oh, I'm glad I ain't spelled that name. Like Leangelo.
Yeah,
I think it was that UCLA. No, it wasn't just the UCLA. They were going to have. He lost out on some endorsements. Remember when the Lavar ball was going back and forth with President Trump?
Yeah.
45. Mm-hmm. It's going back with 45. And it was just a big thing. And so I know that UCLA did suspend them indefinitely off of the team, and then he switched to go Lithuania. Blah.
Yeah.
But during that process, and I don't think they blamed it on his father, but he missed out on some Nike deals. It was either him or
it might have been the oldest son. Because in college you can't accept any type of
so one of them missed out on like the Nike Urban some other. It was Nike and the Armour. What's that?
Under Armour.
Under Armour, and another one. because of they felt it was because of
some
the
levels
father.
of endorsements. And that.
So then, who knows? That can draw a level of resentment.
Yeah.
Like,
Now
man,
you're messing with my money.
Now you messing with my bag, my paper.
Yeah, but money, and
my coins.
His dad is actually, done pretty well for the Big Baller brand, and
They have,
with them being on the Facebook Watch and having their own episodes and things of that nature, and him also creating a junior basketball association. So all of those things were created by the father. So the father has some level of, genius to really create all of those things, and he's a businessman. So there's a level of growth there, but we want to make sure that I think that relationship stays. You want it to stay in a good space.
Right.
So.
But the point is, and we're about to go to commercial, and then we have two more questions. The growth has been stagnant. Yeah. Because even in that Junior Basketball Association, they still don't have any dates for 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay. She said it's 7:30.
Yeah.
So we have to take a quick break. We got two really good questions after this.
All right.
We have to take a break. Remember the holiday party, y'all. Thank you for purchasing tickets. We still have some. We're really getting excited and finalizing some things. So we just wanted to invite you, but December 14th, to our holiday party here in Atlanta. Couples, not just for married, all couples.
So watch the video or the promo.
December 14th at 7 p.m. You are invited to a formal couples holiday celebration with the Hartmans in Atlanta, Georgia. Both married or dating couples are invited to this formal affair. There will be dinner, live entertainment, and dancing. Only $100 per couple. Come join us in this romantic and elegant affair. Tickets are now available on Eventbrite. Search Ourbondlive on December 14th at 7 p.m. Limited seating. Get your tickets early. Okay,
all right.
We are back. Okay.
So we hope you guys join us on December 14th. We're going to have a lot of fun together in fellowship and relationship and couples and elegance and dining and dancing and all of that other stuff. So,
yes. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So we're ready for our second question?
Second question. Here we go.
Are you going to read it or I'm going to read it?
I can read it. Here we go. At what age do you stop listening to your parents?
There it is.
At what age do you stop listening to your parents? All right. So we want everyone to chime in. Please give your level of your comments, and please let us know what you're feeling. At what age do you stop listening to your parents? All right. Go ahead, answer.
I thought
we're waiting on the answer, so while we're waiting,
but I don't want to give anyone because I have a good response.
You have a good response?
I have an excellent response.
Really?
I really do. I really do.
Well, you need to go ahead and share that with the people.
Let's see if anyone. Come on, people, respond before I do. Okay.
We really.
Someone said never.
Wow. Okay. There you go. All right. All right.
Richard said never.
Never.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Who else? Anybody else? All right.
She put and she said never with exclamation.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
So
go ahead and give us your
the question
take.
was when do you stop listening to your parents?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a difference in hearing and listening, kind of.
Okay.
Like I think you always give them the respect to voice their opinion.
Yes.
Period. So you never cut them off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Sunday, right? I'm just going to give this example with us. Y'all know I have a 96-year-old grandma, right? Some of y'all know I am blessed to have a 96-year-old grandmother.
Did we just get a comment from our daughter?
What'd she say?
Wouldn't they stop listening to you?
Are you supposed to be doing your homework?
Our production assistant, she's the replacement
For the other
assistant. She's wanted to chime in. All right, that's funny
they
right
stop
there.
listening to you. Okay, I give you a couple points for that one. But you need to be doing your homework while you're doing production assisting.
Yeah, we're about to go ahead and put the Lavar ball on you.
So listen, I'm blessed to still have my 96-year-old grandmother on my mom's side that's just walking, talking, cook, all that stuff, right? Okay, so on Sunday, she calls me, me and my husband while we're in the bed. We are tired. Remember, we came from homecoming. We got back late Saturday night, and then hubby had to preach on Sunday morning. I was so tired, y'all. I had no food at the house. I did not cook or anything, and still had to do some activities with the girls after church. Hubby cooked, baked pork chops, green beans, and rice after preaching. Right? After preaching. Okay? Got home late, around 4 o'clock. We ate, family feeling good. We are all tired. Now, normally I do cook, but we share the responsibility of cooking. Grandma called, see what we're doing, and she asked, well, baby, did you cook? You know, he been up there preaching and stuff. Did you cook? No, Grandma. She went off. Well, he's supposed to have a helpmate. Why you marry him? Why you marry you then for if you ain't come home and cook? If he have to come home and cook, is doing the cleaning too? He got to do. Just went off. Okay, just went off. Okay?
I love you, Grandma.
And he was soaking it up, just laughing, all that stuff like that. And I said, okay, Grandma, okay, okay, yeah. Well, we got to go to bed, Well, he need to rest. He need to get it. Yes, Grandma. Okay. Love you. He need to rest. Okay. At that point, I listened to her. I listened to everything she had to say, But as for me and my house, what worked for us, worked for us. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. He wanted to eat. He wanted the wife to eat. He wanted the kids to eat.
And it wasn't no big deal to me.
He cooked. And that was a blessing. And, I thanked him. Afterwards for that.
Appreciate the love, boo.
Appreciate the love. So to answer the question, I listen, but will I take their advice every time? Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I really feel any other comments. I really feel you should definitely give go ahead, read before I give my point.
You don't ever stop listening to your parents, but applying the info is something. Yes. Is something else. And the word listening in that question is quite loaded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listening, but I don't have to follow their instruction, but I respected her. Yeah. Yes, Grandma. Okay.
I think as parents and as children, you should always give your parents the courtesy and the respect to be able to speak into your life at any moment.
Got some more comments.
Oh, more comments? 2
people said never. Anthony and Derek, never. Kay said, you never stop listening to their wisdom. They're willing to pass along. And someone else said, wow. Yeah. But, yeah.
So, and I'll just say this. Definitely, you as children, you always give your parents respect and the courtesy of being able to speak in your life. First of all, they've lived longer than you and they've experienced some things that just in life in general that you still have not experienced. So there are some things that they can tell you that you may not always have the experience or the wisdom to understand. So that's that aspect. But then in some areas, I think I even take, from my wife's perspective, you listen to everything, but you don't apply everything. So you listen to everything because there are some things, and then they could even be coming from a traditional point of view, and that point of view is irrelevant in this day and age. I won't even say irrelevant, but it's not as it is. It is a little different, is culturally, and then some things that happen 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago might not be, apropos to where we are right now. So we have to understand that there is a mindset that you got to have to be able to accept all of the information, but then be able to appropriate that information in a way that's going to be contextualized for what you're trying to do in your own current life.
Right. Like, for my grandmother helped raise me, and she has instilled some traditional values that I still have and that I cook, that I keep.
Yeah.
I do cook for my husband. I do keep a clean house. But on Sunday, I was just tired.
Yeah.
I was just tired, and it is like that. And praise God, he was raised in a household where his mother taught him how to cook. Your daddy taught you how to cook, or just grill?
He cooked. He grew.
Okay, so he saw it both ways.
Yeah.
Versus my grandmother, how she was raised, she never saw her father cook. He was never in a kitchen.
Yeah. He just went to the table and the food was there.
It was always there. It was always there. And
there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever your situation is.
Yeah. So
your context is. That's how you operate.
So you take the wise counsel. What's that saying? You something and chew out the bones.
You eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
Eat the meat and just spit out the bones. So there are some advice.
Yeah.
That I take, but then I have to take whatever works for my house.
Yeah, yeah, and that's very, very important. So the age.
The age.
There is no age.
There is no age. You hear that, production assistant?
There is no age.
Yeah,
So we just had to let her know.
Yeah.
That she said, you stop listening to them when they stop listening to you. But if they don't listen to you and you living in their house, then how that's gonna work?
You just said something right there, baby.
I could, that's where I'm gonna come from my point of view. If I clothe you, feed you, protect you, provide for you,
give you money,
do whatever you need to do for you in that regard, young lady, you might need to reconsider what you just said. But anyway, I'm not going to LeVar Ball her anymore. but yeah, and I think that's very important. So
that's good. We want to go to our let's see, our next question. Any more comments? Okay. Y'all are good. Thank you for commenting.
All right. So we got our question number 3.
Our final question.
Question number 3. All right.
I'm going to read it.
Go ahead and read it, boo.
Is being too sensitive a flaw? Is being too sensitive a flaw? Now, let's put that in context.
Yeah. All right.
So, him calling him damaged goods.
Yeah.
A lot of folks were like, "Oh my goodness, the nerve of him talking to his children like that."
Yeah, in that way.
You know, so like it takes it back to like on the lines of, remember back growing up in the day, it seemed like you had to try out for everything. Remember, like when you tried out for a team, they would have your numbers on the locker or right by, the gym door or whatever.
Name on a list.
If you made the team or not.
Yeah.
But sometimes like in these elementary schools and stuff like that, you go, everybody make the team. Everybody
get a trophy.
Everybody get a trophy. Everybody, because they're saying
for participation.
For participation. They're saying that, you don't want to be too hard on the children. You want to just acknowledge that they even tried. So that falls along in the same line of, okay, what was the question? If it's too...
Is being too sensitive a flaw? Yeah,
is it being... So have we moved to, you can't say this because it'll really hurt their feeling, or, let's try to soften any criticism or soften any advice. Is being too sensitive in society, has it weakened our strength?
Yeah, or our ability to persevere, even
among,
go through challenges and still be able to come out on the other end victorious.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the question. Let's see, is anybody
now?
Somebody say that, Red.
I wanna even look at this from the standpoint of what is your definition of sensitivity?
Sensitivity, like I try to tell my girls this, like, because wearing your heart on your sleeve a lot of times can be detrimental, because everyone doesn't know how to appreciate your heart.
Yeah.
So I try to tell them this, because they're all sensitive. Well, except for one of them. One of them, you know how she is. Most of them are sensitive. Okay, most of them are sensitive. So I tell them, out there in the world, I say, now it's okay to cry.
Yeah,
it's okay to cry.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, this world has equated crying as being weak.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, so you have a safe place at home. You know, you give your best out there. You do. And if they hurt your feelings, just keep it moving. Keep it moving. When you come home, if you want to cry your eyes out, do all of that, it is okay. Mommy and daddy are here for you. I will support you, but you will dry up your tears, and then you will go right back out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you will face another day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ain't taking off of school. You ain't gonna stop going to practice.
Yeah.
You ain't, because you can't do that in the real world.
No.
You still gotta work. You still gonna have conflicts. Still gonna have, you have to resolve that.
Yeah.
So I think so to answer your question about sensitivity, the definition of this sensitivity is if it like makes you just unable to kind of function.
It debilitates you to the point of you become paralyzed.
Yeah.
And you can't function in any way. That
So what was the question again?
Let's look at the question one more time.
Is being too sensitive a flaw? Oh yeah.
All right.
The debilitating type.
Yeah. Is being too sensitive a flaw. So we have to really look at that. What's your sensitivity level? If a person can't even tell you anything or even give you some level of constructive criticism, then it's a flaw, because you won't ever grow from anything, because it's almost like no one can tell you anything. You get in your feelings, and then you can't operate or function. You become paralyzed. There will be moments in all of our lives where we're going to have to face the music. We're going to have to face some tough love, some chastisement, some criticism, some even ridicule, persecution, mockery, all of those things. But I think in the midst of that, and I think sometimes you won't see the essence of. We've said this on occasion, and and I've even read this in many. I guess in books and different things, but the true essence of a tea bag does not fully come out until it's placed in hot water. So in some instance, you won't really see what's on the inside of you until you're faced with some level of adversity. And that's where you grow. And that's where you grow. That's where you're able to see some of the gifts that were given to you that you never knew that were there until you face with a challenge. And I think sometimes that needs to happen. We need to be challenged at times. We need to be criticized at times. We need to be in a place of adversity and persecution at times, because I feel like in those moments God is building. And from my perspective, y'all, God is building something up on the inside of you that will allow you to where it's propelling you for that next level. Because when you go to that next level and you hadn't faced anything on this level, that next level has the capacity to knock you out.
And let me add to that.
Go ahead.
You say that adversity is preparing you. He said something, y'all. That adversity is preparing you for the next level.
Yeah.
You have to go through that.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between criticism and being like abused, like
Yeah.
verbal
Yeah.
abuse and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because some people can just
Yeah.
be mean
Yeah.
and hard
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
But
it's not taking you
It ain't
anywhere.
taking you nowhere.
It's not doing anything
It's-
for your
it
development
ain't
or your
doing
growth
nothing.
or anything.
It ain't nothing.
All it's doing, it's just keeping you where you are, or it's causing you to be in a place of being paralyzed and where you can't move.
You can't move.
And some people do that. They want to criticize you or want to ridicule you so that they can keep you in their place because they may see potential in you more than you see yourself. And by you moving to where you need to be will become a challenge to them. On whether if they need to be moving in their lives. And some people want to keep you paralyzed, keep you in a place of where they feel like, okay, we're on the same level because I know they might have a little more potential than me, and I want to keep them where I can keep my thumb on them and make them feel like, they're not as good as they really are. And that becomes an issue too. So there is some level of sensitivity that we have to have, but at the same time, we can't be too sensitive to the point of where it won't challenge us to grow or challenge us to move to another level.
Right. So I had one of my one of our daughters. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're commenting. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments after I say this.
Yeah.
One of our daughters. She's our number 3. She's our number 3. We number our children because it's just easier sometimes since all their names start with O, right? So our number 3, she's just joined the space club team at her school, and they have a simulated. They go out into space for 27 hours at the end of the year. So she is striving to become an astronaut. That's like the highest position, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of her friends at the school told her, was like, hey, you gonna have to, what she said, it wasn't a friend yet. She's an associate, okay? Yeah. She was like, you're going to have to speak up
for yourself.
Yeah, you're going to have to speak up for yourself. You got to stop being so shy and you got to just speak up, be louder and all that. And number 3 came home like really sad. Yeah. And I said so okay, why are you sad? Because I had to understand, like, okay, so why are you sad, baby? And she was like, well, because she's making it seem like I'm very shy and that I don't speak up. I said, well, do you speak up? No. I said, do you think the advice that she was giving you was helping you or hurting you? She said, helping. I said, yeah, it was helping you because she's trying to help you become your end goal, which is an astronaut. Yeah. Yeah. So I said, baby, that's called constructive criticism. Yeah. She was like, oh. I said, so, hang out with her. Like, she's who you need because she's a veteran. Yeah. She was on the space team last year. Yeah. So, obviously, she knows what she was giving you advice. Yeah. But she was like, well, she just said it, like, roughly. Baby, that's life. Everybody's not going to talk like this, like your mama. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And then and so I had to get her through it. But it's like little conversations like that. Yeah. And sometimes you got to have with yourself. Because I said, baby, I was just like you. Yeah. Mommy's sensitive. You might not know that. But mommy really is sensitive, So sometimes I have to have conversations with myself. And so I could, go back out there and, because, especially, sometimes I manage people at work and everybody don't like you, right? Yeah. So you gotta still love everybody, still do your job, know, and then, be fair to everybody, but you can't get too sensitive to where you can't perform. Yeah,
and what I like about that word, constructive criticism, if you look at the root word of constructive, it means to construct, which means to build, which means that you're building up the person, even in the even in the place of telling them about themselves, but you're telling them about themselves with the purpose of helping them reach a higher height.
Build up.
You're building them up, not tearing down. There is also something called destructive criticism. And that destructive criticism tears you down. And it was never given to you for the intention of helping you to become better, but it's making you worse because it really has. And I'll say, if you're going to tell somebody something that about a flaw about themselves, also come with some level of encouragement or solution to help them to become better, because that's where you want it to go. If you're just going to say, oh, you ain't going to be nothing, you're never going to be nothing, your mama wasn't nothing, your daddy wasn't nothing, that is not doing anything to help that person esteem or grow to where they need to grow. But if you've noticed that there are some areas where they may be lazy or not fully following through, or procrastination or different things of that nature, then you could tell them, hey, listen, this might not be the best way for you to continue to conduct yourself. And if you want to grow in life, and if you want to be better, then this is how you need to move forward. Now, we can't give you all of the advice or all the information on what you choose to do. You can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Right. However, you could still give them an opportunity to learn, and you want people, and I think that's one of my I guess attributes or characteristics, is I want to see everybody reach their fullest potential. I want to see people grow to the level of where I believe God can take them. I like and even win. I want to see people win. There is no envy or animosity or any hate. I want people to grow and reach their highest potential, and I think the reason why we're even doing the show is to give information and advice and experience to help people take whatever they're going to take from it. Everybody might not take the same thing, but whatever they take, we pray that whatever we say helps people grow to where they can get to their final destination.
Yeah, so, I think that's good. I think that's good. I wanted to read this comment that Janetta wrote. She said, my grandma, well, she said grandmother. I say grandma. My grandma taught all 8 of her boys to cook and clean. I was raised by my dad, and my mate must know the house chores are equitable in division. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Do not fall. Leave number 3 alone. Y'all leave me alone. She's so sensitive. Okay, I don't have any. Oh yeah, amen. Preaching. Yeah. So, but yeah. So this way of living from being sensitive, there are areas of sensitivity that I think we all should have. You want to be sensitive to, the relationships you're in, or your spouse's needs, or you want to be in tune with from a level of intimacy with them, to be able to share with them. And then also from a standpoint of being able to express yourself in a sensitive way. Now, we're not talking about just crying, but being able to share your vulnerabilities. I think that's a level of sensitivity that I think we all should have, and that is a level of healthy sensitivity. But if it becomes detrimental to your growth, then that's where it becomes a flaw. I like that. We talked about the flaw, but then you also mentioned what is healthy sensitivity. Yeah, because we do all need that. Yeah, we are human. Yeah. We have hearts, so there does need to be a level. Each one should possess a level of sensitivity. Yeah, and it's not being a wimp if a man cries. They've called me at the church the weeping pastor, because there's been many opportunities and many times where I've cried in the pulpit. Yeah. So hey, it's just a sign of me being able to express myself, and then it's also a release too. Have you ever just had like a good cry? Oh, and then you just feel so good. So it's better. It's just good cry.
All of the anxiety or all of the emotions that were built up when you were able to, shed those tears and express it. It was kind of like a release. It was a release valve.
Now everybody can't see. Sometimes you have to do that. In your
whole, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but sometimes if you can't, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it
Yeah.
is, and people
Yeah.
see a side
Yeah.
of you that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know.
and growth.
Growth.
Growth is paramount. Growth is essential to you reaching the place where you need to be. You know, our destiny. You know, there are so many paths. Well, really, and I've heard so many different statements, but you know, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And then there's also, I guess I could make myself laugh, but then there's also places where if you're trying to get somewhere, there's going to be some obstacles and some things that you face,
right.
And you're going to have to face those challenges and you know, see it through from the fraternity. When you're up against the trouble, meet it squarely, face to face. So anyway, with that being said,
It is.
It is 7:59.
So we have women. We hate to end this, but we want to. This was a good conversation. We're here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We try to do it between 7 and 8 because we respect your time.
Yeah.
You know, we got to do some things too.
Yeah, we have busy lives as well, but this hour is meant for encouragement, growth, and for us to be able to share some of our point of views of things that we've learned. Not that we know it all, because we don't.
We don't. We're just harmonizing.
Yeah, but we're coming from our perspective, and we want to see everybody win in life. All right.
So if you're in the Atlanta area, this Friday is our monthly marriage group.
Yes.
It's at 6:30 this Friday, 230 Stovall Street. He's about to put the flyer up. Yes,
where is it?
It's right there.
All right. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. There's that handsome fella. Right there. Text our bond to 31996 if you want to get notifications. But we have food available, of course, free, no charge. You can come on out, and we have activities planned, and we're looking forward to it this Friday
6:30.
at 6:30.
Come and join us. All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Peace. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.